Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, Eddie Marcus here, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people. Today, as I give you your dose of wake up, I don't have any notes prepared. I decided I'd just speak from the core. You are a creature of God. The fact that you can walk, talk, or breathe, there's an indication, there's evidence that there is God in you. That makes you special. You mean all human beings. And this earth, with all of its abilities, were made really to give God, the God in you, an opportunity to do many things through each of us, all of us, through us. The God of the universe using us to do many things. Prepared the earth that whatever God needs to do the things that God would need done is already here. We would be the tools that's used to do those things that God wants done. And in the process, we get the opportunity to live as though we are in heaven. Living in peace, being prosperous, being free, joy in our lives, we're happy, and rather than dream, we live the dream. No, we don't live that way because somewhere down the line, it is, if the story is true, been told that men were deceived. They say that we were deceived in the beginning when men got a chance to make a decision as to whether they were going to walk the line that they knew or whether they were going to branch out and try something different. And they apparently decided to stretch out and try something different that got them confused. And so there were powers that were luring them to do that which they weren't familiar with and deceived them to believe that it is much better than that which they were familiar with. And apparently, I don't know what happened back and forth through time, but the evidence of it today is that all of us are sold on that same deception. In America today, as I'm sure is happening all over the world, the expression of deception is in place. We as Americans, we all know, are familiar with a certain type of lifestyle. We knew that white people were the slave masters and black people were oppressed. We knew that. They got away with it. We allowed them to get away with it. But for the most part, they try to live in harmony. We, as black and white, try to live in harmony, taking our time for courage to build up to stand up against the system. But for the most part, as I'm trying to say, we were going on kind of smooth. Why were we going on kind of smooth? Because the powers that rule the white slave master, as I heard it so clearly explained today by those lawyers on cable, Miser, something. I'm not sure that's the name of them, but this guy explained it beautifully. He was saying that white people loved democracy before because they used democracy to set up and do all the things that they do. Put them in control, put them in power. They were the bosses and put everybody else in the place where they wanted them to be. But in time, the others, people of color and whatever, who they weren't accepted, began to grow. And in this society, in this democracy, numbers matter. Not only did numbers matter, but differences matter. All of these things began to matter, and all of a sudden it became a threat to whites because whites never considered trying to harmonize with the rest of the people. They had one thing, that was to be controlled, to be the boss, and that has not left. And now we find ourselves where they feel like they are threatened, according to this guy. This guy in this cable and he's white. According to him, white people now, they do not care a thing about democracy. and they don't care anything about lying and cheating, whatever it takes to stay in power so they can continue to rule and control all of the other people. They are willing to do. And so when you hear a group of people in America that's bold-facedly lying right before your face, now many of them who have heard this lie so much actually believe the lie. And when they believe the lie, then they believe others, like Democrats, are lying. Because deception has set in, and it's messing everything up. That's what deception is designed to do. It was in the garden. It happened in Russia. It happened in China, Asia. It happened in North Korea. It has happened everywhere there's a dictator. And now here it is happening in America. What is America going to do about it? The thing that America finds open to them is this. They have to change the situation. It's going to change. It's not going to stay the same. Right now, this deception is about taking you to the lowest low that you've ever had, you've ever been in our lifetime. Now, I lived into the 70 some odd years, and I came through some rough times out of the South. But this is pathetic. I mean, I never saw people that just set up bold-faced and lie to you. Bold-faced and start deceiving you. Never seen people just sit up and start believing it, accepting it, and willing to put their lives on the line. Taking an oath to protect the government, and then while in the government, under that oath, start taking in a philosophy and accepting that and ready to forget about the oath and act according to a different voice. Well, you ask yourself, if this voice is willing to take you that low, I'm talking about Republicans now. I'm talking about Donald Trump, and I'm talking about that mega group. I guess what I'm really talking about is all white people. Now, why am I saying all white people when I know white people are against this thing just as much as I am? Because if it continues, white people were not able to stop it, so that means they had to be, according to them, complicit with it. There was nothing they could do, so they accepted it. But I only say that because those people who are being abused, they don't have to accept anything. And if white people continue to manipulate and control and do the things that they used to do to black people, talking about going by rewriting history and all of this, taking about your rights, making laws to take away your rights. If black people and other people of color allow that to happen, you are just as guilty as the white person. That stuff should be out of the white person's mind and out of your mind. Neither one of you are going to allow that to happen. And even if one tried, the other was not going to allow it to happen. That's what you should be saying. But you're not saying that. What you're basically saying is that we can keep them going as low as the Republicans want us to go. If we can just hang around here, just keep on letting people know what we're talking about is so much better than what those guys are trying to do. They really are trying to destroy us. But we know we're much better than that. But see, this is what I want you to know. This is what the God in me wants the God in you to reveal to you if you will allow it. Is that doesn't mean a thing. That doesn't mean anything if you're right there. If you want to call this ugliness, this deception that you're dealing with, where was it born in? It was born, if it was right here with us, if it wasn't born right here with us, because it came earlier, it was nourished right here with us. What I mean nourished, I mean the system that we operate in from day to day, its effect on the lives of people have allowed a fruition of this which we today try to be disgusted with. And so if they have said it's not enough and they have grown here and ready to go and as far as they can go, then why is it that others would be satisfied with just hanging around in the same area where this monster, if you want to call it that, was created? It appears to me that the God in you would want to rise up and say, if they want to go that low, let's show them how high we can go. And what does that mean, how high? That means how you can reach out if they want to destroy you for their own benefit. Then you reach out to save everybody the same way you want to be saved. That is basically everything that you are about, they are about. I mentioned it earlier, and I don't want to repeat it again. You can rewind this baby if you want to hear it again or just play another video. The truth of the matter is, ladies and gentlemen, we don't have to go that road. We don't have to go that road. But it is being designed for us. But we cannot stay here. I asked the guys months ago, and I did again yesterday, and you probably heard it. The news people, the main media, those who are on the cable media, talk about the blessings of a wonderful life. A blessing that people, everybody got a job that they love. Talk about it. Put that in their hearts and minds of people. Give them something else to talk about other than dissecting Donald Trump and all that other stuff every day, all night. Give them something else to talk about at the table. Talk about now you can possibly, if you change from where you are now, you can make the change that would allow you not only to have your career that you desire, but from that allow you to be able to live and eat and dress like you want to, be able to have access to education and health care and transportation like you want to, knowing that anything that is being made by the hands of man from the resources that are given freely by God, and you have participated in the process, make you part owner of all that exists, meaning that you can access it as you have a need, a want, or desire. And you don't need no money. You don't got to argue with anybody. No lying, no cheating. Everybody's fantastic. No gods. No trillionaires while you got poor folks. Everybody's a millionaire. Oh, I say a millionaire? Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is what this message is about this Monday morning. That every day you wake up, you got the choice. Now, just like I have not been hearing anybody on the news or cable or main talk about this love of life. I call it love. I used to call it heaven on earth. And let's call it heaven on earth. Let's just call it heaven on earth like it is. Because in order for it to happen, you're going to have to love God. And loving God going to mean you're going to have to love people. And if you love people, whether you hate God, if you love people, you automatically love God. And so let's call it that. But I say, they are not talking about it. Are you? If you're not talking about it, why? I know why. Do you know why? Change that why and start talking about it. This love that we're talking about is not just for some. It's for everyone, especially that God in you wants to live love. Until next time, this is Eddie Marcus saying goodbye for now.